What's up everyone, my name is Stardust11 and today we're back with something we haven't done in a long ass time because this is kind of what I wanted to build my channel around, like trying to teach other people to get better at mods. But now I'm just doing lives and I figure, you know what, let's build this team, rebuild this team on camera. Because I really like this team and it's kind of silly, not silly, but it's kind of unorthodox because, well, it's an OU team, but I'm using a Seismitoad. And it's kind of a standard-ish Seismitoad for if you see an OU, if you see Seismitoad in OU, it's kind of standard because it's a leftovers variant with water absorb, and this is a team I built because I was really tired of this Volcanion meta, and I just say, you know what, let's just go anti-meta and try and not get destroyed by every Volcanion ever. So that's what we did, that's what I did. And I decided to go with the leftovers variant with the water absorb, stealth rocks, scald, earthquake, toxic, and then these are the EVs. And this is a set I stole from Smogon again. Apart from toxic, I mean toxic is on there now, but I don't think it was at the time, where I just kind of copied and pasted. But I'm not really sure why it has a minus attack nature and it doesn't have minus speed, but probably the speed is good. 186, I'm not sure what that does. Maybe at speeds like max speed Azu? No, it doesn't. But probably at speeds like something along those lines, where it has speeds kind of the Azu thingies, or just banned Azu or something, because that doesn't run max speed, but also a lot of HP. But maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. But so this is the set I've been using. I used to run knockoff, but then I thought toxic was more effective because there are a lot of mega lotties running around, a lot of things that could switch into this thing, but don't really like taking a toxic. I mean, no, I almost said Lano T was a good switch in, but there are a bunch of things that can switch into this thing. For example, Superior. T-Tar, kinda, Tornadus Therian is a big one, Thunder is kinda Zapdos, so all of these things that can switch in, but don't like taking a Toxic, that's just obviously good. There are other things that can switch in, it is like a Scissor or something, but that doesn't like taking a Scald, so that's really risky if you want to switch those in. So that's kind of what Seismitoad does. Seismitoad just sits there, walls Volcanion, and just lets the rest of the team go to town. A good defensive pairing, I thought, would be with Skarmory, and that's kind of what I went with as well. So, and since I already have a physical one, I don't plan on making this team too offensive. I decided to go with a leftover sturdy, a deaf Skarmory with Iron Head, because this is also my answer to Mega Diancie, also my answer to things like, I was going somewhere with this, but then I started thinking about Keldeo, but Seismitoad shuts down Keldeo. This is my Lottie switch, and this is my Dragon switch in. So, we go with the Defog, the Toxic as well. Maybe we should go with Whirlwind on this one, and then we go with the Roost. So, we don't, as you can see, have any hazards on this team. I mean, I could go Hazard Stack, but I just prefer having hazard removal over that, because then I should replace either Whirlwind or Defog, but I just really don't feel like doing that. What we're going to do is we're just going to put 248 in HP, 252 speed depth, and then we go with a minus special attack nature. So this is a guaranteed knockout on a Mega Diancie, and also kind of a check to Clef. I mean, it doesn't. And this is also like something that can Whirlwind Clef out as soon as it gets too dangerous, but it's Stab Iron Head, that's just gonna be great. Now you're thinking, well, if you don't run Brave Bird, then you're gonna be really weak against Mega Venusaur. Our Mega kinda got that covered, which is none other than Mega Alakazam, because Mega Alakazam is absolutely the tits. It outspeeds so much things. It's a good late game cleaner. It outspeeds so much stuff in this tier. It has great coverage with Psychic Focus Blast, and then we have Shadow Ball as the last coverage move. And if things want to set up in my face, I still outspeed them, and I just go with an Encore. and I do think that this is in fact recommended spread. So this is exactly what we're going with. We want that speed because so we can outspeed the Mega Bunnies and we can outspeed specific Scarfers. Like I think even with a modest nature, outspeed things like Scarf Tar, but probably Scarf Base 70s, Scarf Breloom, which is a very unorthodox set, but it can be run. Maybe even Scarf Tran, I'm not completely sure about that. Probably not though. Our next mon is going to be something that I adore using, something that just is a wall breaker. So Zam is our late game cleaner, and now we need something that can break walls, and I decided to throw two mons in at the same time. First one being the underused threat right now, which is Dragonite, and the second one is going to be Keldeo, and this is going to be a Lumberry set because I kind of feel it's is much more likely to get off your Dragon Dance successfully without any harm once you're a Dragon Dance set. So we go with Dragon Dance, and then we go with Dragon Claw, Extreme Speed, and for coverage, we've got Earthquake, which is mainly there for Heatran. But looking at this team, I already have two switch-ins to Heatran, so that would kind of be redundant looking at it right now. So I'm just gonna look at the Dragon Dance set that's on Smogon, which is kind of the one I'm using apparently. But I just really don't feel like using this as my coverage win. So maybe something along the lines of Fire Punch would actually help out better. We're just gonna keep Earthquake for the sake of it because I've used this team quite a lot and didn't feel like changing it at all. But we do have Heatran switch in, so that's just kind of good. But the Keldeo is supposed to be a wall breaker, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. That's exactly what it's going to do as well. So we have Scald, Hydro Pump, Secret Sword, and then because the main switch in to Keldeo are the Lottie Twins, we have Icy Wind as well to slow them down, outspeed next turn, and to guarantee to a KO. The only thing you have to be really careful with is because the Lottie Twins often are paired up with a Bisharp, because you don't want that thing to get to +2, because then you have to sack something, and that's just always terrible. Last off, we go with Superior because Superior is a threat. I needed something that was also very quick apart from Alakazam. I do have nice priority with the Dragonite, and their last mon is going to be Leftover Superior, because it's just really good. Always clicking Contrary. Sometimes I tend to forget that and just have a regular Leaf Storming Superior on there. That's just straight up terrible. So we're just gonna go with the Leaf Storm, the Hidden Power Fire for good coverage, and then we go with, I think it's Dragon Pulse. It's definitely Dragon Pulse to hit those dragons because that's kind of the only thing that we hit for not super effective damage with both the previous moves we had, and our last move is going to be to just slow some things down. Often when I'm going to take Bisharp as an example again because you have to play a lot of mind games around Bisharp usually with the Sucker Punch, especially when Keldeo and Seismitoad get kind of low. Bisharp is really a big threat. So what I do is just send in this thing. They tend to Sucker Punch and we just glare, and then we're much more likely to get off a hit next turn, or at least that's kind of a 50 or 25% chance to for him to get paralyzed. So we're much more likely to get off that hit and also continue to mind games because we could double glare for no reason, or just completely switching something else on it and actually have a 25% chance of switching that in safely. I'm not sure what the paralysis chances are, but this is the team. So defensive Seismitoad, Spadef, Skarm, Mega Zam, Dragonance, Dragonite, Specs, Keldeo, and then we have a Leftover Superior. I've really been enjoying this team, but if there's anything on this team that you don't like or specific problems that we can run into and that can easily be addressed, leave it in your comments below. And without any further ado, I'm just gonna hop into this very first battle. So our first opponent is using a hazard stacking balance-ish team. Definitely Zar X, I'd like to say, because he's running it with a T-Tar, and I know that there's this thing going on with Y and T-Tar, Zard Y and T-Tar. I just don't feel that, because you're kind of ruining your own sun or sand or whatever you got going. But this is definitely Rock's Chomp, but I'm just going to lead with Keldeo, as that does seem like a good lead. Another thing I didn't mention in the team builder that kind of shuts down everything. Okay, I feel like just clicking Scald right here, to be honest, because I don't think this thing can Oko me, and we actually get a crit. That's really unfortunate for my opponent. I couldn't care less though. That doesn't kill. I know, but you don't kill me either, so that's fine. Probably with a Dragon on top, he maybe will kill. But then I still have a Seismitoad in the back. So, this guy is kind of getting upset already. But, Fire Punch would have been more useful in this game. We don't have Whirlwind actually, we have Toxic because I'm using the old one. But he's usually gonna go for Elite Seed, that's fine. Because usually I could Whirlwind him out at this point, but I don't have Whirlwind, so that's kind of unfortunate. So I have to really establish my win con right here. I mean, this thing, I don't want this thing to come in, but I don't think he's going to attack me, so I'm just gonna go into my Alakazam right here as he sets up rocks. And what this means is I can just Encore him into that, and just start firing off either Shadow, I think Shadow Ball is a better play because he's kind of likely to switch in Latias right here. I thought he would do that because T-Tar is gonna get killed by this Focus Blast, providing we connect, but which we don't. But fortunately, we're still able to do this. He could switch in Latias. I'm actually at 6% exactly, which I lose. So I just really feel like clicking Shadow Ball right here. But he can't obviously risk me switching out. But he goes into Latias as I predicted, but I didn't do anything with it. That's just straight up unfortunate. But what I can do right now is just go out into my Skarmory actually, and just fire off a Defog right now. It's super unfortunate we didn't land the Focus Blast on T-Tar because that would have been gone. I'd like to think that would have been gone, and that I didn't do anything with my prediction. But he sends in Rotom, which is not a great play on his behalf. I mean, could have been worse. It's a nice middle ground. It really checks Skarm nicely. But I have a good answer. I have a good solid answer to this, being my Seismitoad. Now he's more than likely gonna go out into his Ferrothorn, but I'm just gonna set up my rocks as he's more than likely going to set up rocks of his own. Or maybe he's a Spike setter with Ferrothorn. I like to think that, but no, he goes into Garchomp, that's fine. Maybe it's a special set. I'm not sure, but maybe he just wants to set up rocks of his own just to damage my Dragonite a tiny bit, because I do believe that as soon as we weaken Ferrothorn a bit, then Dragonite should be able to sweep at +1, maybe +2. But this thing might be a problem, but I'm just gonna hit him up with a Toxic, and we land a Toxic, and I don't think this guy can do too much to Skarmory. Unfortunately, once again, I don't have Whirlwind, so I can't really Whirlwind this thing out. But that does a lot more than I wanted it to. Not gonna lie. So the only thing we can really do here is just Roost. But there goes my Lottie switch in. That's kind of unfortunate. But the only thing I really want to kind of calc right now, going to the damage calc, is whether or not Secret Sword knocks out from here because that's the better play, because Latias cannot take 2. So we go with Garchomp, and it's probably offensive Stealth Rock. And then we go with Keldeo, all-out attacker. Secret Sword does a minimum of 60%, so I like to think that kills. So if he wants to switch out something, preserve this thing for whatever purpose he has with it, I can probably 2-hit KO something, and I definitely 2-hit KO'd his Rotom. And that's just really great, because Rotom is... I don't want Rotom to die, actually, because it's setup fodder for the Dragonite. But that's just fine. Thing we can do here is... There are a couple of things we can do here. I could go Seismitoad or Superior. I just feel like Seismitoad is less useful because I do think that Superior can sweep. So just gonna fire out Toxic as he defogs away the hazards, but am I in range of Size Shock the next turn? Unfortunately am, but now I'm just gonna click Stealth Rocks again as we don't get rid of them, and now he's just gonna bring back his Garchomp more than likely. Exactly. But we still have Keldeo in the back, so we don't necessarily fear this thing. I'm just gonna fire off a Scald right here. But that's completely fine. And I'm just gonna go out on a Keldeo, and I'm not sure because Hydro Pump almost OHKOs, but Icy Wind guaranteed kills. So we're just gonna Icy Wind right here. This Garchomp is gonna go down, and I do think that actually Keldeo plus Superior can win us the game. He goes into T-Tar, which is a very odd play, but I'm just gonna go out into my Dragonite because it noms any hit, and it can just get off some damage on this Mon with an Earthquake. And as soon as he switches in his Ferrothorn, he guaranteed loses because that will probably be in range of Keldeo. So I'm just gonna go with the OU utility one. Secret Sword does 78% minimum, so as long as we just spam Earthquake with Dragonite on this Ferrothorn, we could actually DD here. I just don't think that's necessary at all. So he can Crunch us right here, that's going to be fine because Crunch doesn't kill Keldeo. Keldeo is a really healthy amount of HP. You can't actually switch that in. So at this point, it should be game. It should be game. I should definitely win this game. So T-Tar goes down. I crit again. I doubt that mattered, but I'm not sure. But this guy forfeits, and that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more of this team, if you have any suggestions for me changing this team up, let me know in the comments below, and I will apply them. You can change mons, you can change sets, just don't change the entire structure and core of the team, which is kind of Seismitoad. Well, I don't just want you to change Seismitoad, that's kind of it. All the other mons are kind of expendable, or interchangeable, and but if you want to come back, want to see more, subscribe to my channel. Tomorrow will be the next upload with this team that will just contain 2-3 battles in a short-ish life. That's gonna be it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.